What's up, guys? Today we are doing a quick review of my welder. It's behind us, the Weldpro 200 multi-process machine. I know a couple of you guys had some questions about it, and before I couldn't really answer them, but I've had a couple weeks with it, used it for a couple hours, and we'll kind of go over what I like about it, what I don't like about it, what it came with, and what you might or will need to purchase in addition to it, especially if you're just getting into this stuff, just stuff that you don't really consider when you're just first getting into something. You don't know that you need all this stuff. So but let's kind of jump into it, and I'll kind of give you my thoughts on the machine and whether I'd recommend it to a buddy of mine or not. So let's get on into it. So we'll kick it on. The power switch is just right here in the back of the machine. You can't really get the camera in there to show you. You just flip it on. It does its little boot sequence, and then what's cool is it will go exactly back to where you left it. So if you left it on MIG, and you had it, my settings, 16 volts, 235 inches per minute wire speed, it's gonna keep that setting for next time. The buttons, you can actually hit these with gloves on, right? So you don't have to go take your gloves off. Let me grab one and put one on. My messy workbench. I grabbed the wrong hand glove. Little camera shake for you, but yeah, you can still get to the buttons, easily when you got your big, stick or MIG welding gloves on. So you don't have to pull your gloves off to mess with the buttons. I mean, it's a little thing, but if you had to do it every time, it'd get annoying. So that was a plus for me, that you don't have to take your gloves off to navigate through the menus and all that good stuff. The one thing that is weird about the settings, and maybe other machines are like this is my first one, but every other one you were able to adjust voltage and wire feed speed independently. This machine links them together, right? So you can see I can move my wire feed speed up, and it will automatically adjust the voltage up. So what you have to do to get it to exactly where you want it is you have to hit the menu button, and this changes the percentage difference between those two numbers, right? So if we leave it at 0%, this means that this is just what the machine recommends, right? So if we change our wire feed speed to 300, it's gonna automatically set it to 17 volts. So let's leave it there, and then we'll change that percentage, and I'll show you kind of what it does. So if we go up, this should, I believe, increase the voltage for the wire speed. This setting right here, this D, this tells the machine what diameter wire you're running, and you just want to set it close. We're running a 0.25 wire feed speed. See how the wire feed speed didn't change, but the voltage went up. So, and that's because we increased that percentage. So it works. You can get to where you need it to be. So we'll go back to 0. And you can see now we're back down to 17 for 300 inches per minute. So like I said, you can get the setting where you need it to be. You just got to fiddle with it. So that's my biggest gripe about it, is that that's not independent. Now, like I said, I don't know if maybe other welders are already like that, but it just seems like you could get it dialed in a little quicker if you didn't have to mess with that. But I mean that's literally the only thing, my only complaint about the machine is that particular setting. You know, it comes with MIG, lift TIG, which is basically just not high frequency start, you know, but basically just setting your amperage through here. You stick is pretty self-explanatory. You just, again, setting your amps. This setting here is for MIG. This is just kind of your standard, you know, as soon as you let off the trigger, you have your post flow. I think it's set to 1 second. But the wire feed speed automatically stops as soon as you release the trigger. This, if you set it to 4T, it's just a different setting. You actually, it will feed an extra wire after you've released the trigger. I haven't found a use for it. You pro welder guys, you'll know exactly what you need it for. But that's what that does. Never use that button. Don't know what it does. Couldn't tell you. But for everything that I've needed, it's worked fine on 110, but I haven't welded anything like really thick, but I don't really plan on it. It was welding 1/8 inch steel plates on stick, easy peasy, and the MIG stuff I was doing was super thin, like a 1/16. So never skipped a beat on 110, never blew, never tripped my breaker, anything like that. So it comes with essentially everything you need, and it comes with decent stuff. So the MIG gun is, I think it's just a standard MIG gun, I don't know. It comes in and basically it just stabs right in, and then you have that set screw right there that basically you would loosen that up and you just pull your MIG gun out if you weren't using it, didn't need it. It's got a good ground clamp that it comes with. It's you know, actually a decent ground clamp. It doesn't come with like one of those you know, car battery style ground clamps, and it works well. Let me see, where is the stinger for doing stick is just the old school clamp style. Works fine. You can use any style you want, because it just they're just these twist style connectors. So that's another good thing. You don't have to worry about going, if you need to like switch polarity for any reason, you don't have to worry about, you know, going inside the machine and taking those lugs off and swapping it manually like that. You just, you know, twist it. If you need to go to negative, you know, just undo it, put it in the negative lead, you know, swap it around. It's easy. It came, if you guys saw the unboxing video, which I'll kind of link below, it came with, I mean, everything you would need to get going. Like, it comes with, you know, your basic consumables for doing some TIG work. It only comes with 1 tungsten, so obviously you'd want to buy some more of those, because if you're just starting, you're gonna mess them up. I will tell you, I did have a problem when I first went to start doing some MIG on this machine. Let me get the end of the MIG gun and show you. So the tip on this, now that I have new ones, I'll give it a whirl and pull it off, but it was a pain. Let me set you guys down. I will kind of go through this real quick. You guys can sit on top of the Z. But anyway, so obviously, you know, standard kind of MIG gun. It's called the Ergo Plus 15. I don't know if that rings a bell with anybody. When you're first setting this up, they tell you to take this piece off, right? And you're supposed to just be able to kind of pull it off, you know, kind of like that. But when I first went to do that, you can see how this spring is missing right here. What happened is this little metal coil pulled all the way off. And so I had to recoil this thing around this by hand, and it took forever. because they only sent one of these tips with the setup. That would be fine if something like that didn't happen, but I went online and ordered just a whole pack of them. I think this is what, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's five or six of them in this pack. It was like 15 bucks. So cheap insurance. You know, if that ever happens again, you can just swap the tip out, especially when they get, you know, clogged up. Basically, this is like a gas diffuser is what this holds on to. So, like I said, it was just cheap insurance to get more, because I did run into that problem, and this setup I couldn't find locally anywhere. None of the welding shops had it, so yeah, I had to order online. It took 3 days to get here from Amazon. It wasn't bad. 4 days maybe. But now it's working like it's supposed to. You know, you're able to just pop it on like you would expect. My experience the first night trying to MIG was fighting with that thing and recoiling that up. It was annoying, but what you gonna do? The machine came with this ball style regulator. So far it's been fine. It hasn't leaked. I've not noticed that the gas flow is insufficient at any point or anything like that. So, I mean, kudos to that. It's one less thing you gotta buy. You know, if you had to buy a regulator right off jump, a decent one, probably 70, 80 bucks, I'd imagine. So the kit that it has come with has been decent. You know, as far as the welder, I haven't had to go out and buy anything aside from those, whatever they call them, gas diffusers for the MIG gun, just to have them, because the one that's on there obviously is not in the best shape anymore. The TIG torch already comes preloaded with this like stubby setup. Obviously there's no tungsten in there. I have not used it, but it does feel, I mean, it feels fine. It feels like it would do the job. So from the bit I have used it, the few hours, it has done fine. Let me see if I got anything. I mean, these are just some of the practice, just welds that I've done. And like I said, this is super thin stuff, you know, 16. So it'll do thin stuff, and I know it'll do, I think it's rated up to like 1/4 inch on 220, maybe thicker. It should do anything you need it to do. 110 is probably all you realistically would need for like a home garage. But if you had something where you needed to weld something really thick and you had access to 220, I would think that this little guy will do perfectly fine for you. Weighs about, I don't know, 25 pounds or so. So it's light. If you do need to put it on a cart, it's compact. Trying to think, is there anything else that you really need to know about it? It's just a straight up, it's a good little welder. I've never had it not feed wire or anything like that. It comes with everything you would basically need for any type of wire. So that, obviously this knurled stuff right here, that is that's for flux core. They give you the adapters for each different size wire. I've got the smaller one. The smaller one's in the machine right now for that thin square tubing we were welding. But yeah, it's done everything I've asked to it of it so far, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. For the cost of it, like I said, you can get it 700 bucks shipped to your door. And it comes with everything that you need to get going except for the gas bottle itself. So if you've already got one, great. You can hook it up, you're ready to go. This is, like I said, it's 80 cubic feet of C25, about 300 bucks. So keep that in mind. you can obviously buy a smaller bottle if you don't think you're gonna need, if you're not gonna be doing that much welding. But yeah, I did stick and MIG with the machine. It worked perfectly fine for both. I started with stick just to kind of learn that, and then went to MIG, and my stick welds, they could be better. Still need to practice them, but it's just like with anything. The more you do it, the better you get. But as far as the machine goes, like I said, for a multi-process, like first-time machine for its price point, it's pretty hard to beat. I've only got that one gripe about the MIG settings on it. Other than that, it's a good little machine. Don't really know what else to say about it. So that's gonna do it for this one. It's a quick, down and dirty video, but if you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions that maybe I didn't go over in the machine or in the video, leave me a comment. And as always, if you like the video, consider subscribing, and I do appreciate you guys coming out and watching the video. Peace.